Hi, I'm Erika Newell, and this is a seated lower body mobility practice that you can do from the comfort of your home. It'll be about 20-25 minutes at most. You'll need one prop for this practice, and it hopefully will be something you have in your home, either like a playground ball or a Pilates style exercise ball. Could also be a lightweight yoga block, or even just a towel or a blanket rolled up into a little jelly roll. We'll be pinching it between our knees from time to time. Okay. And then preferably be sure that your chair is sturdy, no rolly wheels for an office chair, and definitely not a deep cushioned couch or a lazy boy type of chair. You want to be able to perch on the edge of your chair. So if you need to go get those props, go grab those props, pause it, and we'll get started in just a moment. All right, let's get tall, perching at the edge of the chair with the feet grounded, hands on the thighs. Sit up as tall as you can. Try to stack your head over your heart, over your gut. And when I say gut, I mean gut in the kindest sense, the place from which all great instincts flow. And just, if you're comfortable doing so, close your eyes, come into your breath, take a peek into your body. I know it's dark in there. We're all blind when we're looking inside of ourselves. So just get comfortable with that view for a moment. If you'd like, put a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly, and notice your breath. A long exhale will be the secret to a good, fulfilling inhale. So if you've never tried a really long, complete, thorough exhale where you get out every last drop of air, or you make it feel like you're getting out every last drop of air, it's not actually possible, unless you want to collapse alone. Forget I said that. Go for it. Try slowing it down, smoothing it out. Feel everything condense under your hands. And on the inhale, let your belly swell. Let your chest or rib cage swell. And then finish off at the top as though you're smelling in the fragrance of a beautiful rose. Trying to get a maximal expansion, a maximal inhale. Maximal expansion through the lungs. So maximum on the deflation and maximum on the inflation. If you can, no worries. You may be recovering from something and breathing is tough. I'll put out a breathing video as soon as I can. All right, let's get into the lower body. So this will be everything navel and below. So lumbar spine, pelvis, hips, knees, and ankles. For the first exercise, I'm going to give you a side view, although you don't have to move. We're going to start, you can just put hands at the knees or thighs. You can pitch your body weight forwards a little bit if that feels good. We're going to try to tuck the tail underneath us and untuck. And tuck. And untuck. And I myself am nursing a little bit of a lower back injury today. So I'm doing this really carefully and cautiously. You can do this really carefully and cautiously if you are recovering from any kind of abdominal procedures. And we're going to start to match our breath with it. We'll exhale as we move. Inhale into the belly as you hold. Exhale as you tuck, moving the other way. Inhaling into the depths of the belly, even the pelvic floor, as you hold. So you'll move and exhale and hold and inhale. And feel free to go as slowly as you like. But if your breath determines the pace at which you move. So the better a breather you are, the slower and deeper and longer your breaths will be. So the slower your movement will actually be. But if you're not there yet to that kind of advanced practice, and you're too impatient and you want to get going, it's totally fine if you just exhale one direction and inhale the other direction. And then if you want to take it up a notch, try holding your hands at your heart and allow your gaze to stay straight ahead, tucking underneath you and untucking. So the head is staying stacked over the heart, but the pelvis is like a basin that's spilling forwards and spilling back as you rock and roll over the sitting bones. Not everyone can feel the sitting bones connected to the chair. It really helps if you're on a firmer chair and if you have less flesh. If you're more bony with less padding under there, you'll feel those bones more. So don't worry about it if you can't really feel them. They're there and you're rocking and rolling on them. You can do this micro mini if you like. So notice there's not a lot of yes nodding through my head, none of that, not a lot of rounding and arching in the upper back. It's really just trying to mobilize navel and below in terms of joint movement. The upper body has to shift forward a little because it's attached to the moving parts, but there's not actually a lot of hinging or joint movement, navel and above. Okay, so that was our first little mobilization there with some good diaphragmatic breathing mixed in. Next up, we're gonna get a good inner thigh stretch, opening up the inside creases of the hips. Now, not everyone is gonna open up quite as wide as I do. I've been teaching yoga a long time. Maybe you are more here or here or here. Just go as wide as you can without falling off the edge of your chair, of course, and trying to elicit some kind of stretch in those inner thighs. And we're actually gonna hold that stretch for a moment. And you can place hands on your belly. Imagine you have a beach ball in there. On the inhale, you're inflating it. And on the exhale, you're crumpling it up and deflating it. Feel the tension in the abs as you exhale. Loosen the tension, release the tension in the abs as you inhale. Like a loaf of bread, soft, rising. And then maybe you notice you start to loosen up a little as you breathe deeply. You can open up a little bit more, prying those knees apart. And then from here, if it feels good, try a little tuck and a little untuck. So rocking and rolling on those sitting bones, spilling the belly forwards as you untuck the tail, and pulling the belly back as you tuck the tail. And if you can, stay level-headed, gazing straight ahead. And find a breath match with me. You'll exhale as you move. Inhale into the belly as you hold. Exhale as you go the other way. Inhale as you hold. Exhale to move. Inhale to hold. Exhale to move. Inhale to hold. Good job. Come on back to center. All right. We'll keep the feet kind of where they are. You can bring them in a little bit if that was intense. We're going to bring just the knees together and open up wide. So we'll start to hinge through the hips. Our legs feeling like wings on a butterfly. So flap with control. And you can breathe here with me. Again, same pattern if you like. Exhale as you move. Inhale, hold, sit up tall. Exhale, open. Inhale, hold. Exhale, move. Trying to bring those knees together, internally rotating, as they say, through those femurs. Exhale, open, prying the knees apart, externally rotating through those femurs. When the knees are coming together, the inner crease of your pants is trying to face down to the floor. And when you're pulling apart, the inner crease of your pants is trying to look up at the ceiling. You can pivot on the heel bones if you like, lifting the toes up, following the knees. Nice. And as you do this, you may find that you open up a little bit more, dynamically stretching out the inner thighs and then the outer thighs. If you feel like your mobility is limited here, we can do a little wee isometric strengthening movement to help find a little bit more range and strengthen the deep rotators in the hips. You'll keep your feet wide. You'll squeeze something between the knees. So you'll bring that together and you'll just hold that tension there. You can sit up tall. You could even lean back if that felt better for you to open up here. And we're gonna breathe, and you'll slightly increase the pressure on the hug of the ball. Maybe ramping up to like 50% effort, 40% effort, maybe, subjectively gauging, how hard you wanna hug this. Definitely hard enough so that no one can take it away from you. No one can tear it out of your prying knees. No one can pry it out of your knees. Breathe here into the belly, into the ribs. And just hold this squeeze. Isometric strength. Feel the strength in those inner thighs, in those internal rotators. Hold it another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly release. And at this point, you may need to sit back up and play with opening and closing again. Slowly and smoothly. Very nice. And now for those external rotators in the hips. If you feel that going this way is limited, there's a couple of ways we can use an isometric there. For this one, scooch back in your chair, lean back a little, lengthen a leg out in front of you. Take the other foot and place it across just above that ankle. And start to pull and slide that heel bone up the shin bone. Even if you just get up there halfway, that's good. And that knee is going to track outwards. The inner seam of your pants, if there's one there, is going to shine up towards the ceiling. And you can just do these little reps. It's a lot of work to hoist that leg up, rotating out and pulling up. Try not to move anywhere else. You can feel the tightness in your tummy. Maybe exhale as you hoist up. Inhale as you hold for a moment. Exhale, lower slowly as though you have a parachute attached to your leg. Inhale, gather your strength for the next rep. Exhale, sliding up. Inhale, hold the isometric. Exhale, slowly down. It's not a long trip. Inhale, rest. Exhale, one more time. Inhale, hold. Exhale, parachute down. And release. Inhale, rest. If it doesn't feel good to do this leaning back, you could play with a little prop behind your back. That's quite nice. Just make sure it feels very comfortable on your lower back. You can also do this from seated upright. Just make sure that you're not shifting through the upper body. The place we're trying to improve the movement and the strength of is right here in the hip. So that's the place we want to move. We want to see that moving only, and we want to feel that moving only. So if you're feeling things elsewhere in your body, you want to feel the concentration. You want to hear the most noise coming from that joint. So you're either leaning back on a prop. I think I like leaning back on a prop. Lengthening the other leg, crossing the foot, sliding that up. And just give it a try. Take a couple of messy reps before we do the clean breath match reps, just so you can get what it feels like. And your core should turn on. An exhale helps to do that, to help hoist that leg up. So this is core and hip is where you're feeling it, really. All right, let's match it with the breath. Inhale to gather your strength. Exhale, hoist it up. Inhale, not a long trip, but make it smooth down. Inhale, rest, gather your strength for the next one. Exhale, rolling up. Inhale, hold the isometric. Exhale, lower. So this would be building up the flexibility and the mobility to come to the half pigeon leg in yoga. Not everyone can do that. It doesn't feel great on everyone's knees or hips. So if you can go all the way up over the knee, you can totally go up all the way over the knee. But the minute you sort of rest, you're stretching passively. You're no longer doing an isometric at the top where you have to hold and get stronger. So doing this alone does nothing to strengthen that joint. It really just stretches this stuff in a pretty aggressive way. I don't actually do this stretch passively too much anymore as a seasoned, long-time yoga practitioner. It's kind of intense. I work more on this move, the strengthening aspect of the hip tissue, rather than the stretching. Because the strengthening will cover the stretching naturally, because some stuff has to naturally lengthen in order for some stuff to shorten. Okay, I kind of went faster and I lost my breath match there, but hopefully you got the idea and you were able to get a few good reps in and you're really tired right in there and right in here. Okay, coming back up to seated, let's just go through external and internal rotation of those hips, the butterfly legs again with the feet apart, bringing the knees together, prying them apart. And maybe if you sit up tall, take your weight, zipping up, lifting up out of the pelvic basin with the guts of the abdomen. Maybe things feel a little bit looser in there and you're opening up a little bit more. It's really fundamental for healthy hips. All right. For the next exercise, place something back behind you that you can scoot I'll give you side view. We're gonna get into the knees. You can scoot your tail kind of back, deeper into the back of the chair and sit back. Or prop back there. Still want your feet to be able to touch the ground. So we're going to lengthen and outstretch the knee and bring the foot back. Really simple movement. Nothing else is going to move in our body. Just going to isolate that knee movement. And then we're going to add a nuance that's really healthy for the knees. And it can also, we can do it a little in two different ways. So what you'll do is the next time you extend the knee, if you can't lock it, that's okay. But if you can, try to fully lock the knee. Bring that foot all the way up. And then the next time you extend, before you extend, you're gonna externally rotate with the foot out into like a duck foot. So instead of a foot on a train track, you're going like that. And you're going to extend. So all their toes, your foot is paddling that way. I'll give you a front view, hoping my bottoms of my feet don't look too dirty. So sitting back nice and comfortable without collapsing through the chest. Of course, we want good abdominal awareness here as we do any of these movements. Ground through the standing foot, practice extending. So if that goes well, try extending with the duck foot. And then if that goes well, try extending with a pigeon foot. So you know how people might walk with pigeon toes. So you're going to internally rotate those feet. And try lengthening there. And if you go back and forth, alternating between the two, you're actually rotating your tibia from the knee joint. Make sure the hip is not moving. So you should not see seams on the upper pant leg moving. You're really only moving from knee, through the shin, the foot, and the ankle. And you'll notice a knee extension with the foot pointing in feels quite different from a knee extension with the foot pointing out. So in order to really feel that, you may have to close your eyes, and we're going to slow it down and smooth it out, and really try to feel the first fibers of tissue that initiate either the duck foot or the pigeon foot and the extension. All right. And if you're tired on that knee, try it on this knee. You can switch, and then we'll switch back and forth a couple of times. All right, so go to the other side and just lengthen. All right, just with a foot, a straight ahead foot on a train track. Extending, trying to get the locked out knee. No worries if you can't. Good. Okay, and then try with externally rotated foot. And then try with an internally rotated foot. And then we'll slow the breath match down. Move as you exhale. Hold the position to inhale. All right, so take a deep inhale, gather your strength. Exhale, hold, inhale. Exhale, hold, inhale. And switch the orientation of the foot. Exhale, hold, and inhale. Exhale the foot back underneath the knee. Inhale and rest. Switch the position. Switch the bias from that externally to internally. Exhale, hold, or exhale, move. Inhale, hold. Exhale, bring the heel back under you. Switch and inhale. Exhale, move. Inhale, hold the isometric. So you should really be feeling this in your quads and in under the kneecap. Breathing into the belly to do this work without a lot of rotation from the hips. You can do this with nuanced rotation from the hips, but it'll be more of a full leg, hip, knee, and foot sort of movement where we can externally rotate, lift that long lever, internally rotate, lift that long lever. That's another fun one. It's kind of like you're trying to serve a tray of hors d'oeuvres on the outside of your foot, kneecap pointing inwards towards your midline, and then serve a tray of hors d'oeuvres on the inside of your foot, kneecap pointing outwards. You see how those two movements are different? You can scan, you can close your eyes and feel how they're different. Do them slow. With really any breath match that you can make work, that's fine too, if you can't hold the isometric for the full inhale. Yeah, and try it on the other side. You can try it just knee, so it's knee rotation with extension, or try it from the hip where you're getting that sort of that butterfly leg happening that we practiced earlier. That's a long lever. I don't want you to strain your lower back doing this. I want you to have tension in your core while you're doing this, preferably. If you have something like a lumbar pillow behind you that's giving you lumbar support, you can press your lumbar. You can use your abs to press them into the block back behind you. Very supportive for the lower back. If you have lower back issues, that can feel quite good. Nice. Okay, good. Now those knees are all lubricated. We're gonna move down to the ankles. And I'm gonna give you a side view for this one, but you don't have to move. If you like, take your prop, squeeze it between your knees, just to get a little tone in the inner thighs. We're gonna put our feet hip width apart, right, our ankles right under the knees. And you're gonna lift the heels up and lower them down. We'll do a breath match. Sit up at the top, perch at the edge of your chair, sit up tall, look straight ahead, stacking head over heart, over gut. Exhale the heels up. Inhale, hold, feel the squeeze in the calf muscles. And then exhale, very deliberately lowering them as though you're slowly mashing a bunch of grapes with your heels to juice them. Inhale, gather your strength. Exhale, pump. You're pumping the Achilles tendon, really contracting those calf muscles. Exhale, slowly lower, get the heels all the way to the ground. You can even maybe lift the toes at the bottom a bit so they come off the floor. Exhale, lift up onto the balls of the feet. Heels up, up, up. Hold. Exhale, smash the grapes. Maybe even lift the toes up a little so you can press down a little more through the heels. And again, I'm trying to hold a container so people can move really slowly, just really feeling stuff. You know, this is getting your scientifically, making mind-body connections, right? Because it's the motor neurons running down to the stuff that we're talking to our body with motor neurons from the brain, and then the body is talking back to us with sensory neurons telling us how this feels. So of course you're heeding the warnings. If your body is telling you this doesn't feel good with each movement, then maybe you're dialing it down to a lower intensity. Feel free to close your eyes. It's really important to do this work in sort of a distraction-free zone in your house. You won't be able to do it if you have to keep getting up and down or the phone keeps dinging. Try again next time if that happened to you. All right, good. And then one of the final things that we'll do, we're almost done, will be controlled articular rotations through the ankles, which will involve, you're welcome to sit back or prop something behind you for support. You're going to try to trace a circle in one direction and then in the other, just via the ankle. So have your kneecap stay still, hip and upper leg stay still. Even the lower leg, the only thing you see moving on the lower leg is all the muscles moving to, work the ankle joint. But the bone and the tibial bone the shin bone should be still with just the muscles moving around it. Kind of feels like the balls of your feet is the end of a spatula and you're cleaning out the bottom of a peanut butter jar. You might get some clicks and pops in your ankle, and if you do, that's awesome because you know you're moving your ankle. If you're feeling your hip getting tired, you're probably moving through your hip. Try not to do that. If it's a lot of work to lift this foot up, you can place the foot on an ottoman. Just place your heel on an ottoman and try to do this from seated. Go both directions. Breathe as you do it. Getting around that clock. And switch to the other side. You could, I got a nice click right off the bat there. You could breath match this. You could exhale as you go halfway around. Inhale, pause with the toes reaching out, pointing. Exhale, finish the circle. Inhale, hold in dorsiflexion. Exhale, do the other way, halfway. Inhale, hold. Exhale, move. So you can play around with moving and pausing to inhale. you know, you could just, however you want to match that breath up. Good. Okay. All right, and we've gone on 30 minutes. I apologize, I kept you a little longer, but congratulations if you made it the whole way through my lower body mobility series. Well done, and I hope to see you back. Bye.